On Christmas Eve in Boston, 72-year-old Eleanor Whitmore sat alone in her wheelchair at the Windsor Hotel's grand dining room. The table before her held a prime rib dinner growing cold. She hadn't touched a single bite. Around her, families laughed and children ran between tables, their joy a sharp contrast to the hollow ache in her chest. 5 years had passed since the accident that took her husband Richard and left her unable to walk. 5 years of empty houses and silent phones. 5 years of wondering if building an empire had cost her everything that mattered. Her pale, thin fingers trembled as she reached for her water glass. The diamond ring on her hand caught the candlelight, a reminder of 43 years of marriage, now reduced to memories. Her white hair was pulled into an elegant bun, and her black suit hung loose on her frail frame. She looked every bit the wealthy widow she was. Powerful, untouchable, utterly alone. A burst of laughter erupted from the table beside hers. A mother cut turkey for her daughters while their father made silly faces. The scene twisted something deep inside Eleanor. She looked away, blinking back tears she refused to shed in public. Her son Marcus was in London with his new family. He'd sent a text that morning. Short, polite, distant, just like every year since Richard died. Eleanor picked up her fork, then set it down. The food tasted like ash. Everything tasted like ash these days. She signaled for the waiter, ready to leave this place of happy families and return to her empty penthouse. But before he could reach her, a small voice broke through her isolation. "Excuse me, ma'am, you okay?" Eleanor looked up. Little girl stood beside her table, no more than 6 years old. Dark skin, braided hair decorated with colorful beads. She wore a purple coat that was slightly too small and had been mended at the sleeves. Her brown eyes were wide with concern, holding a depth of empathy that seemed far too old for her young face. "I'm fine, sweetheart," Eleanor said, her voice cracking. "Thank you. You're crying," the girl stated simply. Nobody should cry on Christmas. Nobody should be alone either. A man appeared behind the child, tall and dark-skinned, early 30s with tired eyes and calloused hands. He wore jeans and a flannel shirt that had seen better days. His hair needed cutting and worry lines creased his forehead. He placed a gentle hand on the girl's shoulder. "Maya, honey, we need to go. I'm sorry to bother you, ma'am." But Maya didn't move. She was still studying Eleanor with those impossibly perceptive eyes. "You're by yourself. That's why you're sad." Eleanor's throat closed. This child had seen through her carefully maintained facade in seconds. She nodded, unable to speak. Maya reached into her pocket and pulled out something wrapped in tissue paper. She held it out to Eleanor. "I made this for my daddy, but I think you need it more." Eleanor took it with shaking hands. Inside was a handmade Christmas card. Construction paper folded in half. On the front, Maya had drawn 3 stick figures holding hands in crayon. Inside, in shaky letters, it read, "Family is love. Merry Christmas." The tears came then, hot and sudden. Eleanor pressed the card to her chest. "Maya made that for me this morning," the man said quietly. "I'm Devon Harris. This is my daughter Maya. The middle person in the drawing is supposed to be her mother. She passed 2 years ago from breast cancer." Eleanor looked up at him. His face held the same grief that lived inside her chest. The kind that never leaves, just learns to coexist with your heartbeat. "I'm so sorry. I'm Eleanor." Devon's eyes widened slightly at her name. He clearly recognized it. Eleanor Whitmore was Boston's most famous real estate developer. Her face had been on magazine covers. But he said nothing, just nodded with respect. "Daddy!" Maya tugged his hand. "She's eating alone. Can we stay with her? Please." Devon looked embarrassed. "We couldn't impose." "Please," Eleanor heard herself say. "I have far too much food. It would mean the world to me." Maya's face lit up like a Christmas tree. She immediately climbed into the chair across from Eleanor. Devon sat more slowly, clearly uncomfortable in his worn clothes among the hotel's elegant decor. Eleanor signaled the waiter. "2 more menus, please. And could you warm this up?" She gestured to her untouched plate. As they waited, Maya pulled crayons from her pocket and began drawing on a napkin. Eleanor and Devon talked. Carefully at first, then with growing ease. Devon was a carpenter, he explained. Self-employed, taking whatever jobs he could find. His wife Jasmine had been a social worker. They'd met in community college, married young, had Maya right away. The medical bills from Jasmine's treatment had buried them. Even with insurance, the experimental therapies had cost everything. After Jasmine died, Devon sold their house to pay debt. Now he and Maya lived in a small Roxbury apartment, still paying $173,000 in medical bills. He worked 16-hour days, carpentry only, no degree, no connections. Eleanor asked about Maya, humming as she drew. "She's everything," Devon said. "After Jasmine, I didn't know how to go on." Then Maya asked for pancakes. Life just keeps moving. Their food arrived. Maya devoured her chicken fingers. Devon savored his burger. "Do you have family?" he asked. Eleanor spoke carefully. "A son? We're not close. I missed his childhood." "It's never too late," Devon said. "I'm trying. Some days are harder than others." They talked through dinner, sharing stories of loss and survival. Eleanor told them about Richard, about the accident on an icy road 5 years ago. About waking up, unable to feel her legs, and learning her husband hadn't survived. About the long recovery that never quite brought her all the way back. Devon shared memories of Jasmine's final days, the way she'd held his hand until the very end, the way she'd made him promise to keep Maya's life full of love and laughter. The impossible weight of that promise when he could barely afford to keep a roof over their heads. "Maya," Eleanor said suddenly, "would you help me with something?" Maya looked up, ketchup on her chin. "What?" "I ordered these vegetables, but there's too much for me. Would you help me finish them?" Maya wrinkled her nose. "They're green beans. I'll make you a deal. You eat 5 green beans, and I'll tell you a story about when I was a little girl." Maya considered this, then speared a green bean like it was a dangerous enemy. She ate it, made a face, then looked at Eleanor expectantly. Story time. So Eleanor told her about growing up poor in South Boston, about her mother working 3 jobs, about the Christmas when she was 7 and thought there wouldn't be any presents, but her mother had secretly saved all year to buy her a single doll. "I still have that doll," Eleanor said softly. "In my bedroom, I've kept it for 65 years. Because it reminds you your mommy loved you," Maya said. "Yes, exactly." As diners left, Eleanor lingered, feeling a connection beyond her grief. "Can I tell you something?" Maya asked. "Of course, sweetheart. You remind me of my grandma. She died before I was born, but Daddy shows me pictures. You have the same kind eyes." Eleanor's vision blurred. She took Maya's small hand. "That's the nicest thing anyone said to me in a long time." Maya began singing Silent Night, thin and off-key, but beautiful. Devon joined, harmonizing. Diners smiled, some recording. Eleanor closed her eyes, letting the music soothe her frozen heart. Applause filled the room when they finished. Eleanor handed Devon her card. "I want you to come to my office tomorrow. There's something I'd like to discuss." Devon hesitated. "Ma'am, I can't. Please. Just a conversation. I have a grand piano." "Maya, do you like music?" "I love music. Mommy used to sing to me every night. Then you can play while your father and I talk." Devon swallowed. "Okay, tomorrow, 2 o'clock. My address is on the card." As they left, Maya hugged Eleanor. "Merry Christmas, Miss Eleanor." Eleanor breathed in the scent of strawberry shampoo and childhood innocence. "Merry Christmas, sweetheart." Alone, Eleanor stared at the card Maya had given her. Family is love. Yes, she thought. Yes, it is. That night, she didn't sleep. At 6, she called her assistant. Margaret, I need a full background on someone. Devon Harris, carpenter. Roxbury, be discreet. By noon, she had a file on her desk. Eleanor opened it with trembling hands. What she read made her blood boil. Devon Harris was extraordinarily talented. His portfolio showed restoration work on historic homes that belonged in architecture magazines. He had sterling references. He'd applied to 27 construction and carpentry firms in the past 3 years. He'd been called for interviews 15 times, offered positions 4 times. Each offer had been rescinded within 72 hours. The emails all said the same thing in different words. After further consideration, budget constraints, found a better cultural fit. Cultural fit. That phrase made Eleanor want to break something. She kept reading. Devon had tried everything. Submitted perfect applications, had his resume professionally reviewed, taken night classes to add certifications. Nothing mattered because he didn't have a 4-year degree. He'd learned his trade from his uncle, working construction since he was 16 to help his single mother. He couldn't afford to stop working for 4 years to go to school. And somehow, that made him not good enough. Eleanor looked at a photo in the file. Devon and Jasmine on their wedding day, both of them glowing with hope and joy. Completely unaware of the tragedy that would tear them apart. She thought about Devon pushing Maya on a swing, making her breakfast, helping with homework, working 16-hour days and coming home exhausted to tuck his daughter into bed, carrying $173,000 in debt he'd accumulated trying to save his wife's life, and being told again and again that he wasn't qualified enough. Eleanor closed the file and called her division head. George, I'm starting a new department, historic preservation and custom restoration. Real craftsmanship, not mass-produced garbage. George hesitated. That'll be expensive. The board works for me. Arrange a meeting Friday. She hung up. She wheeled to her closet, opening a box untouched for 5 years. Richard's watch, glasses, a photo album, wedding photos. Marcus as a baby. Family vacations sacrificed for business. Richard's smile fading over the years. One photo stood out. Marcus's college graduation. Eleanor wasn't there. That was the beginning of the end. Richard had asked for a divorce a year later. She promised to change, but 3 months of 18-hour days followed. Then the accident. Richard was gone. Marcus barely spoke to her. I failed you both, she whispered, tracing a photo. But maybe I can do something right now. At 2, her assistant buzzed. Devon Harris and his daughter are here. Send them in. Devon entered, holding Maya's hand. Maya gasped at the office's grandeur. Eleanor gestured to the piano. Maya ran to it, pressing keys happily. Eleanor poured coffee for Devon. I'll be direct, she said. I've seen your work. You're extraordinarily talented, but 27 rejections in 3 years? Devon grimaced. No degree, no connections, systems stacked against me. Exactly. It's wrong. Eleanor slid a folder across. I'm starting a new division. I need someone to run it. You. Devon shook his head. I can't accept charity. It's not charity. It's a job, Director of Historic Preservation. $95,000, full benefits, education fund for Maya. You have a team, a budget, resources. Devon read the folder, hands shaking. This is too much. It's fair, Eleanor said. Why are you really doing this? Eleanor looked at Maya, still happily playing the piano across the room. Because last night your daughter told me nobody should be alone on Christmas, and she was right. She saw me. Really saw me. And you both stayed. You didn't have to, but you did. She met Devon's eyes. I've spent 5 years alone. 5 years wishing I'd made different choices. Wishing I'd put people before profit. wishing I'd been there for my son. Her voice cracked. Can't get those years back. But maybe I can do something right now. Maybe I can give someone a fair chance when the world keeps slamming doors in their face. She reached out and took his hand. This isn't charity, Devon. This is me trying to be better. Trying to do what Richard would have wanted. What my son needed me to do years ago. This is me using what I built for something that actually matters. Devon's tears spilled over. I don't know what to say. Say yes, please. Maya appeared beside them, tugging on Devon's sleeve. Daddy, why are you crying? Devon pulled his daughter onto his lap. These are happy tears, sweetheart. Maya looked at Eleanor. Did you make my daddy happy? I hope so. Maya threw her arms around Eleanor's neck. Thank you for being nice to us. Eleanor held her, breathing in that strawberry shampoo smell again, feeling her frozen heart crack open. No, sweetheart. Thank you. Devon wiped his eyes. He looked at the folder again, then at Eleanor. Okay, yes, I'll do it. But I have one condition. If I mess up, if I can't do the job, you have to tell me. Don't keep me on out of pity. Deal. But you won't mess up. How do you know? Because you care. Eleanor smiled. That's half the battle right there. 4 months later, Devon stood in the restored Morrison Building, one of Boston's oldest structures and Whitmore Properties' first historic preservation project. He transformed the crumbling 1890s brick building into a stunning blend of historical integrity and modern accessibility. Original wooden beams restored, brick walls cleaned and reinforced, modern systems hidden behind careful renovations. And most importantly, fully accessible ramps, elevators, wide doorways, all designed to look like they'd always been there. The grand reopening was packed. City officials, historical society members, press, and hundreds of employees. Eleanor sat in her wheelchair at the front, Maya beside her, holding her hand. Devon took the stage, his voice steady now. No longer the uncertain carpenter, but a confident director who'd proved every doubter wrong. This building was built in 1892, Devon said. Survived fires, economic depressions, and decades of neglect. But it never lost its soul. Our job wasn't to erase history. It was to honor it while making sure everyone could access it. He gestured around the room. That's what restoration means. Seeing value in what others have abandoned. Giving second chances to structures and people that deserve them. The crowd applauded. Eleanor's eyes shone with tears. After the ceremony, she wheeled over to Devon. You did it. You proved them all wrong. We did it, he corrected. You gave me the chance. A man approached them. Late 40s, Eleanor's eyes. Expensive suit. Devon, this is my son Marcus. He flew in from London. Marcus extended his hand to Devon. My mother hasn't stopped talking about you for months. I had to meet the man who made her smile again. Your mother is remarkable, Devon said. Marcus turned to Eleanor, kneeling beside her wheelchair. Mom, I'm sorry for staying away, for punishing you, for not being here. She took his hand. And I'm sorry for missing your childhood, for choosing work, for everything. Can we start over? I'd like that. Maya tugged Eleanor's sleeve. Miss Eleanor, can we have Christmas at your house? All of us. Eleanor looked at Devon. Marcus, the girl? Yes, sweetheart. All of us together. That Christmas, Eleanor's penthouse was full for the first time in years. Evan and Maya, Marcus and Sarah with their kids. Laughter, chaos, music, shared stories. A family forming itself. As the evening quieted, Eleanor stood with her cane. Last Christmas, I sat alone, thinking my life was over. Then 2 people walked in and changed everything. They reminded me nobody should be alone. That kindness costs nothing. That family is choice showing up, loving anyway. She raised her glass. 2 second chances. The families we choose. To Maya, who taught me no one should cry on Christmas. And to Devon, who showed me character matters more than credentials. 2 second chances, everyone echoed. Later, after the apartment emptied, Maya's "I love you" Grandma Eleanor still warmed her. Alone now, she felt no emptiness, only promise. She called Devon. "Thank you," she said. "You saved mine first," he replied. "Then we saved each other." Eleanor rolled to the window, city lights glowing. "I did it, Richard. I found what matters." Because Christmas miracles aren't magic. They're courage opening your heart, choosing connection, lifting others instead of building walls. Sometimes it's a girl in a purple coat, a man overlooked by the world, and the second chance to build what truly matters, a family.